Hello, and today we'll be discussing the YCJA, its jobs, its objectives, and the process when a youth commits a crime. On the 1st of April 2003, the Youth Criminal Justice Act, also known as the YCJA, was introduced as a Canadian federal law. Before it was in effect, there was the Young Offenders Act, where every person who has violated the law was required to go to court. This was a major problem as the court system was busy all the time, as you could wait weeks or even months for a court trial. Objectives of the YCJA: to prevent crime by addressing the circumstances underlying a young person's offending behavior, like by giving a young person counseling for substance abuse if they need it. To rehabilitate young people who commit offenses and reintegrate them into society. To ensure that a young person is subjected to meaningful consequences, like by making the person join sport groups or community action groups which help them make better choices. Like if someone vandalized another person's house, it would be more effective for the person to fix the damage rather than just fine the person money. The criminal justice system for young people must be separate of that of adults and recognize their reduced level of maturity, as adults know more of what is right and wrong. If a young person broke the law, police could charge the person or use extrajudicial measures, which means to deal with the situation outside of court. This could include giving the person a warning and refer the person to a program like drug and alcohol counseling. If the person goes to court, they can choose if they want to be tried by a jury if they are 14 years old or older. The jury of 12 people have a role in deciding if the person is guilty or not by making a unanimous decision. You can be eligible for jury duty if you are a Canadian citizen over 18 who has not committed a crime, as it is one of your duties as a Canadian citizen. Punishments included in sentences can include making the person go to prison, community service, counseling, or restitution, which is to pay back for any damage done. Another option is to refer the person to programs recommended by social workers or a youth justice committee that give support and find community-based resolutions to crime. If the person was Aboriginal, they could go to a sentencing circle where a judge, police officer, elders, and community members use consensus that everyone agrees on a punishment for the person. Some measures could be community service, addiction counseling, mental health counseling, helping victims, and much more. What are justice advocacy groups? They are independent of government and their purpose is to find reasons of youth crime. The two major Canadian groups are the John Howard Society and the Elizabeth Fry Society. They work as people who have committed crimes and help them get reintegrated into society by helping them find jobs, stand up for their rights, and try to improve the fairness of the justice system. What are factors that determine the youth sentences? When two people commit the same crime, it does not mean they'll have the same consequences. Factors might be different family backgrounds, for example, being involved in a gang or poverty. What is the severity of the crime? Is it a stolen chocolate bar or a car? Was the person meaning to commit the crime or was it not intended? And what were the young person's circumstances? Were they taking any drugs or alcohol? These factors help determine if a sentence is fair and equitable. Now let's combine all of this information and explain it in a realistic scenario. Steve and Michael are both 13 years old. One early morning, they went to the electronics store to hang out. They decided to spray paint the walls and threw stones at the windows of the store. As the alarms went off, Steve and Michael tried to escape. The security guards ran out and caught them as the police arrived. This was only the first time for Steve to commit a crime, while it was the third time for Michael. Steve felt very sorry for committing the crime, while Michael didn't care and started arguing with the police officers. The police officers charged them, and the damage was serious enough for them to go to court. On the day of the trial, Steve and Michael were sentenced by the judge to restitute the damage and go to the local youth justice committee to arrange a meeting with the store owner to apologize. Michael was also found to have a history of taking drugs, so he had to take a drug counseling program and a mental health counseling program for repeatedly committing 3 crimes. Both of their sentences were fair and equitable as Steve had never committed a crime before, and Michael had committed 2 crimes before under the influence of drugs. Thanks for watching.